Alright, what's up guys, welcome back to the Grand Cross video, and one thing I love watching and searching on YouTube is theories about what could come to Smash Bros, which is not relevant to this video, but since I am a Grand Cross content creator, and collabs are a massive part of the game, I want to make my own one here, right here, and bear in mind this is a theory, so I could be wrong, and all it takes is one Netmarble collab to come out and that debunks this whole theory. From what we've seen right now, and Netmarble playing it kind of safe, it's safe to say that somewhat these collabs that I'm going to name are more likely than others, and some are kind of impossible, which we're going to go over. Okay, so I'm going to throw this in here because the creator of 7 Days Since did create his new one-shot manga that did come out a couple days ago, even like last week. Not in English yet, so I've not read it or seen the actual manga panel, so I don't know what exactly happens in here, but just from the screenshot alone, you can kind of see it on screen right now. Boom is Derriere, Munsby, and Melascula. If you kind of make her out, she's on top left. This is a potential card that could come to the game, and you're probably wondering why I'm saying this, because they're not actually the characters from the 7 Days Since. It's like a manga with a school environment in like modern day things, so it's no correlation to 7 Days Since. It's not canon. It's because you can see Derriere in the page, and she's got a sword, and I guess the Clover to take away from this is that she's not actually Derriere, it's not actually Munsby. They do have their own different names. It's just 7 Days Since lookalike with the popular characters. Her name's actually Kuriko, and she's wielding a sword, which is insane. But yeah, I think if we're ever gonna get collab, it'll be just her maybe, because I'm not sure if this is gonna be fighting in the manga, but just the look alone screams like a massive collab to me, at least, with the Kuriko, like the movie with Alette, where she would come to the game. She won't be a Derriere, so she doesn't have a commandment, which means you can use her on the same team as Derriere, so you can have two Derriere, which would be sick. But yeah, she won't have a commandment. She's got a sword, so already a different playstyle, and obviously they can do what they want with the passive and like the second ability, but definitely could come to the game, like Alette and Elizabeth. So just another cool collab I thought I'd just throw in, just in case it ever does happen. I want to bring it up now so I can say I called it. But yeah, if it comes to the game, it'll be sick, so I can't wait. But before we do start, if you can like the video and also subscribe, it'll greatly help out the channel and this video as well, because I want to get this out there since most people don't really know about this theory, and it was actually mentioned before on Reddit, which is kind of where I got it from. It's like my original idea, and they did actually predict the Attack on Titan collab just from the one Tensura collab, so already is kind of possible, or more of evidence towards this. But like I said, all it does take is one collab to come out that kind of debunks this whole theory. But still, this is a very, I think, strong theory that these collabs are more likely to happen than others, and others some are debunked as well. So let me just start off with this. Collabs that I think we're never going to get will definitely be One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Bleach, mainly because these are such massive giants. They don't really lend out the IP to other games, so it's safe to say that we're never really going to get these ones. And I think as well, the collabs that do actually lend out the IP more often than not are more likely to come to the game than someone from this theory that I'm going to mention later on. So for example, Demon Slayer did just have a collab with some puzzle game, like Dragon Quest puzzle. I don't know what it is. They somehow got a Demon Slayer collab, and it's, I mean, that's cool. At least they're lending out the IP, so they're not afraid to give it to someone like Grand Cross if they were to ask. And also Code Geass did a collab with PUBG. So if you look at these collabs, like, technically everything is possible, but hopefully Netmarble does actually start going out and getting things outside of their zone, which I'm going to get into now. So yeah, I want to say as well, I made a video the other months ago actually, talking about what potential collabs I would like to see in the game, and one of them was Black Clover, and sadly enough, Black Clover is actually getting its gacha game shut down tomorrow. So Grand Cross is definitely like one of the best collabs, or games even, in terms of look, because they literally look like they're straight from the manga or even anime. So any gacha game that gets into Grand Cross is super lucky, since well, it's gonna look like their own game. It's gonna be super cool. Like, look at Attack on Titan. Even though the units aren't good, they still look good, especially like Titan from Eren. And I can't wait for other collabs to come out, especially Demon Slayer. Let me just throw this in here. If we ever do get a Demon Slayer collab and we don't get a combined attack with Tundra and Nezuko, we've been shafted. Like, if we don't get that scene where in episode 19 where he slices through the fire, we've been shafted. But anyway, let's get into this. What is this theory? So on screen now you can see the 3 collabs that we've gotten. And at first glance, you can kind of break these off into 2 categories. The left side will be Tensura Attack on Titan, which are all anime/mangas, while the next one obviously will be by itself, which will be the King of Fighters collab, which is just a fighting game. So yeah, like I said, at first glance, you may not see anything to do with these like that kind of coincide together. But I guess the main one will be, firstly, is that they are like a Japanese game, or Japanese kind of like theme. So when we start diving into the theory, it may not be possible to get these other ones. So what is this theory that I've been mentioning throughout the whole 3 minutes of this video? It's actually the licensing theory or rights theory that I'm going to dub it as. And if you don't know what that means, is Kadansha is a manga publisher that have the rights to 7 Days Since, Attack on Titan, and Tensura. So looking at that, you can kind of see a pattern there, right? And then kind of goes into what other things, and you could say, you know what, it could be a coincidence. Tensura and Attack on Titan all have let out that IP in the past. It's not a coincidence. But then when you go over to Netmarble once again have picked their own license or their own game to add to the game, which is King of Fighters. King of Fighters Street Fighter, something like that, is actually owned other game owned by Netmarble. So when you look at the fact that we've gotten 2 collabs that are owned by Kadansha, which also owns 7 Days Since, which, you know, Netmarble could easily get the collab for. But then you look at Netmarble as well, and the fact they put a King of Fighters collab in, they're clearly staying in their own circle, in their own reach of what they could get, rather than trying to go out to Shueisha, which owns Black Clover and Demon Slayer. But like I said, all it takes is one collab that is not owned by Kadansha to kind of debunk this whole theory. But it was suggested by, I guess, a Reddit user, I've tried to find it, where he actually predicted what would the next collab be. And since, obviously, Kadansha was owned by 7 Days Since and Tensura, they did predict the actual next collab to be Attack on Titan, which they were right. So this theory does have some backing to it, and it's not just a random thing. So it kind of breaks the whole, I guess, other theory that people thought was going to be where the anime had to be like somewhat relevant. Like Tensura was getting a new season, but it wasn't released during the time, and also Attack on Titan once again is getting a new season, but it's not the same time. Like if they really want to do that, they should have saved the Attack on Titan collab for this month, since they're getting one next month, so it kind of leads on to that. But I guess the whole idea of trying to, you know, build up hype for an anime is kind of wrong. So I think if we're going to get a collab, it will just be clearly coincidence. It's just coming out. So if we do get a Demon Slayer one, it would just happen. It's not going to coincide with like a movie or another season. But before we do get into Kadansha, let's go over the Netmarble games. If you look at the list of games, I'll leave it in the link in the description if you want to see it. Not too many like Japanese stuff. I guess the only one was like Terra Saga. That's how you even say it. Once again, I don't think we're gonna get any more collabs from Netmarble. I think people did find about this when it did come out. They were saying we're gonna get BTS collab, which is, come on boys. And you also see as well that there is like, they do own a Marvel Strike Force, I think it is. So like I said, the pattern that we've seen so far is that the fact they've all been a Japanese game. So kind of debunks this theory that we're going to get any other thing other than, like, you know, Marvel or stuff like that, because it's just way too much. But now let's move over to Kadansha, which obviously is the home of manga and other anime series that a lot of us have watched and still want to see in the game. So just bear in mind, we're considering this theory in the practice here, so we're only going to go cover Kadansha collabs, not Shueisha, which is obviously Demon Slayer. So bear in mind, I still think it could be possible from right now. It's safe to say we're going to get these collabs before we actually start getting stuff outside of, I guess, Kadansha. We may never actually see a Shueisha or something outside of Kadansha. So if we're going to get these collabs, it'll be these ones here. And it's still not bad. So here are, I guess, 5 animes that I found are kind of the most popular. Bear in mind, they do have a massive library of mangas that are, I mean, they could be anything, but they're kind of like more of love story stuff, like just other random stuff. So I've kind of gone towards a more of you know, classic anime fighting shonen. It doesn't have to be shonen, but, like, you know, just the typical stuff that kind of matches 7 Days Since vibe. So first, we have Fire Force. Obviously, Fire Force could fit very well. I'd be kind of scared for Fire Force because they obviously deal with fire, obviously. So they're probably going to have some sort of ignite ability, which will just make Kyo even broken. Like, if you start getting other things that, like, just start adding more ignite stuff. But then we also have Cells at Work, which I've not really watched, but I've heard people mention this, and it's very popular on Kadansha, so that could be a good one. I do think out of the ones I'm going to name, this would be kind of the last one I would probably add. Next one, which would be Gas, and it kind of fits the theme here. Vinland Saga. Obviously, if you haven't watched season 1 of Vinland, it's amazing. Bro, if we get, I meing, they're kind of boring since, like, they don't have magical abilities, they're just, like, kind of fires, but they definitely do kind of over-exaggerate some of the movements, especially with, like, Thorfinn, like, jumping, Ashgalad's, just, like, being, like, a massive tank, and then, like, you got 4Kill, is that how you say his name? 4Kill? Just being a massive beast, and maybe we get, like, I guess, what, 4s as well, because he kind of, no spoilers, but yeah. That could be a possible collab that we do see. And then next, I'm going to say Granblue Fantasy. Another popular anime. I guess they do have some seasons coming out. I think they just made a season 2. I'm not sure what's happening over there. But once again, like I said, there isn't really following a pattern where they have to release an anime. It could just very well come out. Once again, not my top pick. I don't really care about the anime. I have watched it. Did want to play the fighting game. But, you know, I wouldn't be too mad if this stuff does come out. It's not the worst one. But this collab, the final one, this is the most popular, like, this is 100%. I don't want to be that guy, but it's kind of almost 100% to be coming at one point in the game, and that's gonna be Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is owned by Kadansha, and actually you can see from the screenshot, it is one of the most popular ones, and they always kind of like advertise Tensura, Attack on Titan, like their 4 main ones is always them 4. So I think it's safe to say 100% without a doubt we are gonna get this collab in the future. Before anything else, this honestly this was probably going to be the next one, but he somehow didn't do it. They put King of Fighters, but the next collab, unless they go out of their circle, like I said, and go for something that's not in Kadansha, it's safe to say the next collab will be a Fairy Tail one, and this one is almost guaranteed to come to the game if they ever do start doing more collabs, which, I mean, kind of evidence towards they're doing that since they've done 2 this year rather than just 1. But that is the whole theory. I will leave a link in the description as well where you can go see the whole list of what is owned by Kadansha. But like I said, it is a theory. It's very, very strong theory. Just bear in mind. We may never see them go outside of Kadansha and Marble, which would be a shame because obviously everyone's hyping up this like Demon Slayer collab being possible, which obviously I would prefer. And if they do that, then there's more chance for Black Clover to come to the game. But looking at what we've gotten so far, there's no evidence towards that apart from just saying, hey, it'd be cool to get this. But yeah, like I said, there are a lot of animes out there that do land at the IP more than others. For example, Vinland and Cells at Work, I believe even Granblue Fantasy haven't really lent at the IP compared to something like Fairy Tail that's in a lot of gacha games and Attack on Titan. And as we saw with the, I guess, Code Geass and Demon Slayer collabs in the past. But as well, I should point out the fact that obviously Tensura and Attack on Titan do lend the IP quite often. So it could be very well a coincidence that they are just both owned by Kadansha, since it is a massive corp that just own a lot of anime. So it's a coincidence that they are going to be a part of that. So I guess you could say that the theory is that we are only getting stuff that lend that IP, which wouldn't be a bad thing, because Demon Slayer is a part of that. I guess Code Geass as well. So many other animes like Data Live, the ones I can take off the top of my head. Inuyashika, where else is there? I guess a lot of ones in Grand Summoners, so Kill la Kill. Just so many other animes that do lend that IP, which could be another theory, but for right now, I think it's safe to say that Kadansha theory is probably the best one more likely to come to the game. But yeah, that is all for today. Like I said, this could be just a coincidence. It could be wrong. I'm sure I'm going to get someone in the comments saying, nah, you're wrong. We're going to get this collab. But I think if to take away from anything from this, it's probably most likely to get Fairy Tail next. Very possible, I guess, for Demon Slayer and other Switch stuff, but not 100% guaranteed, unlike, I guess, Bleach and Dragon Ball and Naruto. They're not coming to the game, let's be real. But yeah, let me know what you would like to see as a collab, or what your favorites would be. My personal favorite is Black Clover, like I mentioned a few times in this video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace.